Hey, this is Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $20,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 74-year-old male. Now, first thing we recommend you do is go to funeralfunds.com, and we've got these quoters on just about every page. And all you need to do is just select the state that you live in, and we are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, the rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It'll take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies that are going to offer the lowest rates based off your age, gender, and the state that you live in. Take full advantage of that. It will help you see all the rates out there. And you can always call us at 888-862-9456, and we can help you understand what you qualify for. Now, one of the first things we recommend to a male age 74 looking for $20,000 worth of insurance is that $20,000 going to be appropriate for your final expense needs? Now, typically when we're talking final expenses, that would be cremation or burial. So let's talk about cremation first. There's two options for cremation. You've got the cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. That's typically going to cost between $1,000 to $2,000 in most parts of the country. And then there's also going to be the second option, which is you're going to have some sort of a funeral or celebration of life or some sort of ceremony in addition to the cremation. That's typically going to be around $3,500 to $4,500, depending what part of the country you're in. As far as coverage goes, though, like that first one, the cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically help people with maybe $5,000 to $7,000 worth of coverage. And you might be saying, well, Randy, you said the cremation's $2,000, but now you're recommending $5,000 worth of insurance. What's going on there? Well, what's going on is our 74-year-old male probably wants to live till age 84, maybe even longer. And we know that prices tend to go up over time due to inflation. So what we actually do is we actually build in a little bit more coverage to inflation-proof the plan. So if you die many years from now, there's going to be enough money. So what that also has the benefit of doing is you end up with a little bit more than you need early on. So if you die in the next few years, there's some extra money there to pay for some extra unexpected expenses, maybe medical expenses or, pay the credit card or something like that off. Kind of some expenses that if you would have lived long enough, you would have had those paid off and it wouldn't be a worry. So it works really terrific that way. We not only inflation-proof the plan in the long term, but it provides some extra funds in the short term. It works terrific for folks. Now for that cremation where you're going to have the ceremony, we would typically help people with maybe between $7,000 to $10,000, somewhere in that range. And that does the same thing. It inflation-proofs the plan, but provides some extra coverage early on, just in case you don't live as long as you thought you would. Now for the burial, the average cost of a burial in the United States right now is right around $10,000. That's not going to be anything fancy, by the way, but if you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States with the $10,000 check, they should help you out. If not, just walk out the door, walk 2 blocks down the road and talk to one of their competitors. They should help you out. But again, $10,000, that's going to cover today's costs. It's not going to be inflation-proofed. And most people want more coverage than that because they want inflation-proof the plan. But if you're on a fixed or limited income and all you can afford is $10,000, get that right now. We can always help you add more coverage later. No problem at all there. But most people, most 74-year-old males would be looking at getting somewhere between $10,000, $15,000, maybe even $20,000, depending how extravagant you want things to get, or maybe you're transferring the body across state lines or something like that. But just keep in mind, the more coverage you get, the more inflation-proofed you are, and then kind of just factor in how fancy you kind of want things or how extravagant. And we can help you do that over the phone. No problem at all there. Now, some people will say, hey, primarily I want to get my final expenses taken care of, but I'd like to leave some money for the kids too. And they might say, well, what's $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000? So say it's $50,000, and we run that rate for our 74-year-old male. And he goes, oh my gosh, that's a little more than I thought it would be because I'm on a fixed or limited income. I'm on Social Security or disability. And we have to let them know that the reason the cost is, higher probably than they would like is they waited until age 74 to get this insurance. And if you would have got it while you were younger, it would have been less. But also, too, is, they came in and they wanted the final expense. That was kind of the primary need. But sometimes people will say, well, if I can't do the entire $50,000, I'm not going to do anything at all. And all they've done now is they've just sentenced their children or friends to paying this for them. And most of the time, they're going to have to put this on a credit card with 26% interest, and it's going to take years and years and years to pay off. And that's just a terrible legacy to leave behind. So what we often recommend is just get the final expense insurance for burial or cremation, whatever it is. Take care of that, and then we can also always follow up at a later date with a separate policy. Just that would go to the kids, and that works terrific for most folks. Now, if money's not an issue for you, we can do everything all at once, but most of the people we help are on Social Security or disability, so doing it that phased-in approach works pretty good. Now, one thing we always recommend getting is that first day coverage or benefits. We do not recommend those 2-year waiting period plans at all, and we'll cover that in just a moment. But what first day coverage is, it means hypothetically, if your policy were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write out that check for $20,000 or $25,000 or $15,000 or $10,000 or $1,000, whatever the coverage amount is. That's going to be the best coverage at the lowest pricing. Now, sometimes people will say, well, you're right, Randy, I do like the first day coverage, but I hear they ask health questions and I'm not in the best of health and I'm worried I may not qualify. To which we say, hey, that's our problem, not your problem, right? Especially from an insurance underwriting standpoint. And what we mean by that is we work with enough different insurance companies. They all have different health questions. They all have different underwriting. And right now, 95% of the time, we're getting people first day coverage or benefits. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get you first day coverage is if you'd kind of waited too long and you had some significant health issues, like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months. Maybe you had dementia or dialysis, or you were in a hospital or a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd typically refer you out to a different insurance company. Another thing that seems to happen on a weekly basis is somebody will call us up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have insurance and we don't have any money. And now their body's down at the funeral home, and the funeral home director is not going to do anything till we pay him, get him a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so that we can get that check in our hand to pay the funeral home director. We have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that offers these plans, on dead people, right? You have to actually be alive to qualify for this insurance. And it's really tragic their family member passed away, but it's doubly tragic when they didn't care enough to get this in place and they just by default throw this burden on their loved ones. And they knew they were going to die someday. They probably looked at this insurance before and they just kept putting it off. And then one day they just went and died. And now their family members and loved ones are going to have to put this on credit cards, more than likely at 26% interest, and it's going to take years and years to pay off. What a terrible legacy to leave behind, right? Who wants to do that? You could have done everything else right in life, and this is how you leave the world, by burdening people with debt that is not theirs to pay. That's a terrible legacy to leave behind. So don't do that. We can help you get coverage. If you need to, we can help you start small. We can always add more coverage later. Now, one thing we never recommend is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. Now, Colonial Penn's a fairly well-known company out there. They seem to like advertise on TV all the time. I think that $9.95 commercial is playing every 7 minutes, it seems anyway. But yeah, that $9.95 plan, if you did not know that, that is a 2-year waiting period plan. Yeah, we don't recommend that at all. If you can qualify for first day coverage, you got to get first day coverage. Don't settle for a 2-year waiting period plan. But there's a lot of companies out there that, that's what they offer, is those kind of 2-year waiting period plans. Like you got Colonial Penn, you got Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, so many different insurance companies. And some of these companies have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period. To which we always say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. So don't believe that garbage. So our male, age 74 here, probably just got done watching one of the Colonial Penn commercials, probably thinking, you know what? I outsmarted them. I'm 74. Now I'm going to get my $9.95 insurance. I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000. And then he calls Colonial Penn and talks with one of their agents, or goes on their website like we've done for you here, and looks and sees that for a 74-year-old male, 1 unit of coverage, $9.95, is only going to pay out $578. Now, that's not even enough for a cremation in anywhere in the United States that we know of. And, it doesn't really matter, because it's got a 2-year waiting period anyway, right? It's not going to pay out for the first 2 years, and $578 is not going to be worth $578 in 2 years due to inflation. So yeah, you got to ask yourself, why would you ever get like a $9.95 plan if it's not even going to cover your most basic needs, not going to cover any type of cremation or any burial or anything like that. So, you know, there's some people out there that would say that, companies that offer these really low teaser rates, they do so kind of just to get your information and get you in their marketing funnel. And then they can call you up and they'll gladly tell you that that low amount of coverage and that low amount of death benefit. And it's almost like they want to tell you that, but they don't want to sell you that. No, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, that's not enough coverage. You need to get more. And then they'll upsell you into much more coverage, and they'll upsell you into a plan that's more profitable for them. So we would never say Colonial Penn would ever do anything like that, but some people think that there's companies out there that do things like that. And I guess you can just determine if that you think that's the case based off the fact $9.95 is only going to get you $578. So let's see what $20,000 would be. Here's the challenge with Colonial Penn though. $20,000, you can only get 15 units. You max out at 15 units on their $9.95 plan. That's not going to come close to $20,000. Let's see what that is. Yep. So 15 units maxed out. It's going to pay $8,600. That's going to be $150 a month. So let's do that. And that's a 2-year waiting period. Remember, let's look at first day coverage, what that would be. So we got $20,000 for a male, age 74. There we go. Get quote. Let's come back. Remember, this is right around $8,500 for $150. So this is $176, definitely a little more. But again, this is $20,000 worth of coverage. So would you rather have $20,000 worth of coverage for $176? And this is first day coverage. That's what level means, first day coverage. So $20,000 of first day coverage for $176, or would you rather have $8,670 for $150? So yeah, I mean, what we consistently see is dollar for dollar, Colonial Penn's around 200% more expensive than our first day insurance companies. So yeah, we just don't recommend those 2-year waiting period plans. They're extremely expensive, and you just need to be a smart consumer. Why would you ever get so much less coverage for so much more money? Yeah, we just don't recommend it. So let's take a look at some other companies here. I mean, we know 20,000, and maybe you want 17 or 18,000. That's probably what Colonial Penn that'd probably get you to right around that $150 that Colonial Penn would be, but you're only going to get, I'm guessing it'd probably be 16 to 17, probably 17,000, because Colonial Penn's typically around 200% more. So let's take a look here though. Find some other companies here. You'll be able to see all these different companies here though. I mean, holy cow, look at this company. Like, it's $205. So it's $176 from $205. So that's like $29 more a month. So let's do the math on this. $29 a month times 12 months. That's going to be right around $348 more annually a year. And then if our male age 74 makes it to age 84, after 10 years, you will have overpaid right around $3,480 more. So let me ask you this. If you were walking down the sidewalk and you pulled out your wallet and you had $3,480, would you just throw that on the sidewalk and walk away and leave that for other people to pick up and keep? Well, of course not. That's essentially what you're doing when you overpay for insurance. From the very first day, you're overpaying, and you will throw all that money away over the next 10 years. Why wouldn't you want to keep that in your own pocket? So we recommend you just reach out to us, and we'll help you get approved for the least expensive. And it's the same coverage and everything else. There's no sense overpaying for it. So let's look at another company. Oh, here's one. Lincoln Heritage. Fine company, I guess, but look at that pricing. $233.78. It's first day coverage, but it's so much more expensive. I mean, that's like $60 more a month. Why is it so much more expensive? Well, Lincoln Heritage has got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2 or 3 funeral homes to get the lowest pricing, maybe do a couple of other things, but they don't do it for free. No, they charge for it, and you're going to end up overpaying on that policy for the rest of your life. So let's do the math on that. So if it's $60 a month more, so 60 times 12, that's going to be an extra $720 annually, roundabout, that you'll be overpaying. And then if our male age 74 makes it to age 84 after 10 years, that would be, you'd end up overpaying right around $7,200 on a $20,000 policy. So you got to ask yourself, Is it worth paying an insurance company, or I should say, is it worth overpaying an insurance company an extra $7,200 roughly just to call 2 or 3 funeral homes and maybe do a couple other things that may only take an hour or so to do? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say that's a tremendous payday for the insurance company, but we recommend you keep that money in your bank account and not give that to an insurance company to put into their bank account. That's just a lot of money. Boy, you could spend that on yourself or your family and create so many memories. Yeah, you're not going to create any kind of really favorable memory by giving that money to an insurance company unnecessarily. So what we recommend you do is let us help you get approved for the lowest price. And then what we offer free of charge, by the way, is a funeral and estate planning guide. And you can download that off our website. And then you just print it out. And once it's printed out, you fill it out. You write down who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone. And then you keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, everything's in one place. And your family members will go there and they'll see that you loved and protected them financially with the insurance money, but you also loved and protected them emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide. And all they'll need to do is open up that funeral and estate planning guide and read it, and then just follow through on your wishes. Just execute your wishes. And they will know that you not only loved and protected them in life, but you also loved and protected them that one last time in death, exactly when they needed it the most, when you weren't here. But you will have taken care of this in advance. And what a wonderful gift of love. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. If you want to leave that kind of legacy, reach out to us at Funeral Funds of America. We've got a special quarter for our YouTube visitors, funeralfunds.com/YouTube, where you can get the best insurance company, the best rates, the most discounts. We've created that especially for our YouTube clients and customers and prospects. And you can also call us at 888-862-9456. We can answer any questions you have over the phone as well. But, if you've got an existing insurance policy and you just want to save money or you want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for brand new coverage or just need some help or have some questions, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to getting you the most amount of insurance for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you out with this at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.